Hello, album enjoyers. Quick note to remind you of the Enjoy an Album Patreon page. For £5 a month, you get 2 extra episodes a week. They are ad-free. They are your fun, regular, normal episodes. Just me and Chris just fucking chatting and scatting about some of the best and worst albums of all time. Or you also get the access to the back catalogue of Patreon posts we've already done. Robbie Williams.
Iron Maiden.
Lin-Manuel
Miranda's Hamilton.
That was a good one. We've recently done Janelle Monáe.
Ed Sheeran, Janelle Monáe.
Ed Sheeran. Oh, the Raytons. Yes, there's been some really good episodes on there, so worth it. If you've run out of pods,
it's not like extra stuff. It's not like some podcasts are like, oh hey, we recorded a wee bit extra. This isn't like the fucking trimmings, man.
No, this is your gourmet album enjoyer experience.
This is an extra meal.
Absolutely. And you might be like, I don't want an extra meal. I'm full. Well, this is a better one that you won't be more full of. So how about that?
That is what we offer.
You also get early access to live shows, which is probably one of the biggest sells. So sign up to Patreon now at patreon.com/enjoy an album. Before we chat about Fred again and Brian Eno, we're going to take a question from our Patreons.
You too can become an ultra on patreon.com.
Just go to patreon.com. I think we're on the main page. This week's question, patreon.com/enjoy is from Ryan Kilbane.
Can I just say, first of all, love that name.
Oh,
Batman's Dream.
Actually, is that the one we're going to do? Yes, it is the question we're going to do. Yeah. Batman's Dream, Kilbane. He says, Shane McGowan got taken into intensive care a day after the Pogues episode dropped. How long do you think it will take for the podcast to kill someone, a la the Aaron Ramsey curse in football? And who do you hope it is? Also, who would you least like the podcast to kill? So,
who would you least like first of all, who's Aaron Ramsey? This is a footballer?
Yeah, there's a few of these sort of famous curses. My favourite one actually is Gaelic football, right?
Oh, GAA.
GAA. The Mayo Gaelic football team, where my dad is from.
Mm-hmm.
They like, I think they were on the way home from a cup final in the 50s or something. It's something as mad as this. And their bus cut up a woman, and the woman put a hex on them and said, you will never win a cup final whilst all of you are alive.
Right.
And there've been a multiple cup finals since, and there's been years when it's been like dead on, they should win, they are the best. And they've like lost in the last minute of the game and stuff. And so slowly over time, people in Ireland know about that. Everyone talks about the Mayo.
Joe Biden talked about it.
Did he?
He went, Mayo up the Mayo or something when he was doing a speech in Mayo.
Yeah, I don't know if he's talking about the curse of Mayo.
I was talking about the team winning the cup.
Well, yeah, but they didn't win.
No.
And
Joe Biden's
I believe that recently the last member of that team died, and so now they're expecting to win.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So glad to hear about that old Irishman. So who's Aaron Ramsey?
I mean, he's a Scottish footballer, isn't he? I'm guessing. I don't know the Aaron Ramsey curse. I was trying to
talk about something you didn't know about.
Yeah.
Pivot.
Yeah, I was trying to pivot.
Was there not a FIFA curse? The FIFA cover curse?
I don't know what that is either.
If you're on the FIFA cover, you're going to get injured or something like that.
Right. Okay. But either way, there is now an Enjoy an Album curse.
Yeah, because I did not know that the day after we've spoken
about a few people. So Shane McGowan got ill, but also Sinead O'Connor died after we covered her.
Can I just say we love Ireland?
Yes, mad respect to the people of Ireland.
Probably not in my top 10 countries, honestly.
And the Emerald Isle itself, probably my top 5.
Yeah, I would say so. Now I think about it.
So, who do you think is going to go next? Who have we done who's old AF? I mean, Al Green's still kicking about.
Can I just say I have been channeling dark energies towards Berry Gordy.
Yes, he's still about.
Over a year I've been
the old popcorn cum muncher, Berry Gordy.
He likes it salty and he likes it gooey.
Yeah. He's still around.
But unkissed himself.
Who would you like to? Ed Sheeran. I mean, if we... No, I can't.
Well, we already accused him of...
Sheeran.
We accused him of killing his friend. I say come on album.
Yes, that was on the Patreon, I think.
Yeah.
So sign up for some of that juicy stuff. And who would you least like to kill? Oh, I don't know. Someone, you don't want like a young, like person with a lot of, if Lana Del Rey died,
come on.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want that. Is what I'm saying. That'd be horrific.
I brought up your dog dying, and you got sad about it, and I would.
My dog's not dead. That's why.
No, I know.
He brought up the concept of death surrounding my dog.
Well, all dogs die.
Yeah.
All dogs go to heaven.
Yeah.
Arguably.
Yeah.
And I would just say that, I think that would be cool. No, it would be cool for your dog not to die.
Yes.
I would love that.
Right. Why have you brought this up again?
Because I would feel so bad if I brought up your dog dying again, and then your dog did die.
Oh, so stop bringing it up.
Right.
Easy way around that.
Oh, the dog, that question needed an answer. Who would at least like to kill your dog? I love Betty.
This week we are talking about Fred again and Brian Eno. Very excited to chat about this. It's interesting, electronic ambient sounds from the godfather of ambient music and a new guy.
The godfather of ambient music and his godson.
Yes, and his if you will, his little boy Blue. We're gonna get more into that in the episode. Coming up first, we've got an ad for non-patrons. Ultras, you'll get in the body of the app right now after the theme music. Enjoy!
This week we are sponsored by Manscaped.
They are the long-term Enjoy an Album sponsor. They provide the best pubic hair trimming services.
Surely
Not
that
services.
isn't what you usually say. The best of below the belt maintenance.
They actually avoid the word pubic, I think, because it's a bit gross. Whereas I'm wanting to bring it back and say, hey, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Look, you need to shave your pubes.
Let's bring pubes back.
Yeah.
But in reverse.
Yeah, let's bring the word pubes back, but let's shave pubes away using Manscaped product like the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Lawnmower 2.0, I believe we're on now. It's got a little light. It's chargeable with a USB-C, same as your phone. It works in the shower. It's very quick to have a whip around downstairs to make you look nice and good.
Your genitals are going to go from a 6.5. They're going to go from
inches. We can't say the Manscaped will give you a bigger dick, but we are inferring
Well,
it.
it looks like it.
Yeah, it does look like it. That's the whole point.
It's crazy.
It's wild, actually. You have a shave, you look
Because
up, you're like...
trees don't look bigger in winter than in autumn. But...
The earth looks bigger, I think. I don't know if that's how it works. So we are sponsored by Manscaped. We have a code. If you follow the link and type in album20, you'll get 20% off, okay? So do that. Get your balls looking good for whoever wants to look at them, including yourselves.
Balls, cock, arsehole, nose, ear, cock. Check it out. Trim it hard.
Enjoy
Love
the
it.
episode. You're listening to Enjoy an Album, the podcast where two comedians listen to some of the greatest albums of all time. Many artists cite Brian Eno as an inspiration, but few can actually call him a mentor. Fred Gibson can. The London-born hitmaker known as Fred Again, who recently headlined Madison Square Garden and Coachella alongside Fortet and Skrillex, grew up next door to Eno and joined his a cappella group as a teenager. There, the pioneering ambient musician took Gibson under his wing, eventually asking him to co-produce his 2014 albums with Underworld's Carl Hyde. It was a dream tutelage, the effects of which can be heard in Gibson's pining, atmospheric house tracks that eagerly flood busy dance floors with raw, tender feeling. Mad feeling when you're on a dance floor and it's flooded with raw, tender feeling.
See, when you're out there,
in Ministry of Sound.
in a warehouse,
In what's the other one that I've been to? The big one in London.
Fabric.
When you're in Fabric, it's fucking huge, that place. When you're in Fabric and there's just raw, tender feeling.
I just feel like there's a lot going on the dance floor sometimes. I get to, when I'm on pills, etc., I get to kind of empathetic and I just care about other people's shit, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, hope they're having a good time. I'm like, just enjoy yourself, Christopher.
Atmospheric house. They are atmospheric. To be fair, this week it's Fred Again.
Uh-huh. Do you know where that name comes from?
Yes.
Oh, yeah? Spill the beans.
It's from Scooby-Doo, the live-action movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part in which I think Daphne's like shape-shifting bodies and ends up in Fred's body.
Yeah.
Not in a sexual way. and looks down, realizes she's Fred, and goes, "Oh, it's Fred again."
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it's kind of. I would
Or is it not Fred goes back into his own body and goes, I'm Fred again? One or the other.
I think it's the one
Have
you
you seen
said.
these films?
I watched that clip, so that's why I think I know what.
Really good film.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a heavy memeified film,
Yeah.
and this is something I wanted to touch on with modern artists.
Is this something you wanted to touch on?
It is, in that Fred again, and it's sort of like there's a casualness to the art which I think is indicative of modern artists, where it's like I am creating something, but I'm funny with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm low key, so I'm gonna name myself after a meme thing from Scooby Doo, or like Childish Gambino. Naming himself after a Wu-Tang Clan name generator, or James Acaster naming his show after a WhatsApp group, Cold Lasagna, Hate Myself, 1999. I think it's interesting.
I didn't know that's what that was.
Yeah, he named that after his one of his like comedian group chats.
It's a great name for a group chat.
Yeah, so I feel like it's an interesting like time for, it's like
We need a better name for a group
it's people normalizing. But the normalizing themselves. Yeah, I'm just like you. I like funny group chat names. I do memes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just a new type of thing, isn't it? I guess if you're a part of a fucking,
But it's like, but there's a particular unpretentiousness to it. It's not like naming yourself after, a fucking Ernest Hemingway novel or something. It's going,
like Metallica did.
Yeah. So Fred again is like, hey, I'm just a normal guy like you, but he's not. He's not.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. What? How did I ask about?
All I'll say is I remember that watching the first Scooby-Doo film and having no tender feelings for, and then I remember watching the second one in the cinema with my Mutter und Vater, and it was one
big day when you all go to the cinema to see Scooby-Doo with your mum and dad. Scooby-Doo.
Monsters Unleashed.
I didn't even know there was a Scooby-Doo too.
Dude, it rocks.
Does it?
All the monsters come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
And what was it? And I just remember, when I really woke up in the cinema though, when I realised
At the end of the film, when it was fun to leave?
like when my puberty woke up, so I started having sexual feelings. Amelia Earhart in Night at the Museum 2.
Scooby-Doo is a 32% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, so I don't think these are...
Again, I don't want to get into this, but I don't care if something's good or bad. I care whether I enjoyed it.
Right, okay, but you were saying it's good.
I think it's good.
Scooby-Doo 2 has a 22%. It's hard to get 22%.
It's hard to get 22%, but they did it, and it's good.
Unleashed.
I like Freddie Prinze Jr. I like fucking Matthew.
It is, I knew they were heavy memed films, but I don't
Matthew
think they're
Lillard.
good. I don't think they're good.
Well, it depends if you like Scooby-Doo or not. Do you like Scooby-Doo?
Tim Cogshell of Box Office Magazine said, it's a terrible bore.
Well, he didn't have a little bonus next to his mum and dad when he was watching it, did he? When fucking Velma shows up in leather.
You say, do I like Scooby-Doo? It's
Yeah.
interesting you should say that, because Felix Vasquez Jr. from Cinema Craze says, I don't see how anyone, even Scooby-Doo fans, could really find anything worth even remotely liking with this movie.
Oh, he's an idiot.
This is enjoy a Scooby-Doo.
Enjoy a Scooby-Doo.
So that's...
Are you a Scooby-Doo head?
No, I'm not.
Are you a doo-doo?
No, I'm not a do head. Not a doo-doo head. Despite what the young kids on my block keep screaming at me. I remember I watched it when I was younger, obviously, but
Yeah.
I've not seen that film. So how much of a Scooby-Doo fan could I claim to be, realistically?
You know who turns out is to be the bad guy at the end of the first one? Who? Scrappy Doo. What the fuck? He's fucking evil.
Everyone knew that.
Yeah, but he comes back. Yeah, he's sick. I love Scrappy Doo. Anyway, yeah, it's named after.
Were you big Fred again head? Big Fred
up.
I remember the first time me and my mum and dad went to see Fred again too.
I actually woke up when he filled the dance floor.
Sexually. Fred again. So I didn't know much about him prior to this.
Where was the first time you heard of
Spoken
him?
about him on the podcast before because he produced some of Ed Sheeran's album. Did he not?
You actually added a track from this record to the Enjoying Album playlist.
Yeah,
You can access it at playlist.st.
playlist.st. So I was aware of Fred again via that album, the Ed Sheeran one. We found this album.
And when I watched that 8-hour documentary about Ed Sheeran,
Yeah,
he was in that.
God, the sacrifices you make for this podcast. An 8-hour Ed Sheeran, Ed again, that's what they should have called it. I'm Ed again. That's what happens. That's the first words Ed Sheeran says every morning when he wakes up.
That's what Ed Nate says when he wakes up.
Poor Ed. I'm Ed again.
No, I love it.
So
Nate, not Sheeran.
I was aware of Fred because of that, Fred again, rather, and he was also recently headlining at Connect Festival.
Mm-hmm.
We were due to also be headlining, but unfortunately we had scheduling conflicts.
Sorry to DF
Scheduled with us having a good time.
We're never going to book for anything again. But
which I was surprised by, because in my head, Fred again was a sort of a big EDM DJ, and that festival it's a pretty cool festival.
tends to be booking your India acts, not necessarily people who are. But then again, they had the National last year, and Aaron Dessner is fucking sucking off Ed Sheeran's cock on.
Sure, but the National are like a cool sad dad band, aren't they? You know, and they are.
I think they're losing it.
What? But regardless, we'll talk about the Connect.
They have been
Connect bookings.
Yes.
It is generally you more heavy quote marks discerning music enjoyers.
yes.
People who I think like this podcast would go to Connect Festival. In fact, I know some of them did and were planning to see us live. Or we're sorry again. So when I saw Fred again was headlining, I was like, that's interesting, because this is not what I would expect from this. And then this week I listened to some more, and I was it made more sense to me.
I remember we were talking about Fred again
Yeah.
on the Ed Sheeran episode, and our producer at the time, George, who is a cool guy.
Yeah.
That was actually intimidating how cool he is and was. I find, no offense, George, if you're watching this, I don't get this watch or listen, but I find him
cool.
quite intimidating
Yeah.
because he had little cool t-shirts on and stuff. It was like, fuck. And we need to know what we're talking about here.
And
He
so,
knew about King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard.
and so was he a big Fred head?
We were slagging him off, and he went, he's cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, maybe he is.
So I've oscillated
George is saying that.
on Fred's coolness over the last week massively.
Uh-huh.
Like,
You're like a fan.
no, it changes day to day. We're going to talk about the process of this.
No, you're an oscillating fan.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Like a fan that oscillates in the hotel room. Yeah. Okay. No, that's good. That's good stuff.
That was unintentional wordplay.
But Brian Eno, however, I know lots about.
Oh, yeah?
Big Brian Eno.
Oh, yeah, Brian Eno, the record, remember?
You sure?
Music for Airports, Ambient 1.
I don't think you got me music for Apples, did you?
No, I got you like Ambient 2 or something. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Another Green World is an album that I love. I used a song, The Big Ship, in my Fringe show as like the closing emotionally manipulative music.
You're saying that because one of my notes was you are really tweaking the little knobs of people in the front row with that one.
And I had trouble with that until I realised that all we ever do is manipulate people's emotions in one way or another as performers. So
Great art doesn't make you cry, it lets you cry.
yeah, for sure. Thank you for saying that.
I'm saying that
Right.
yours was making people cry and then let them cry. I was crying. A lot.
Brian Eno, and I spoke about him on the podcast recently because Roxy Music was playing, and David's reaction to me saying, "Can we not play Roxy Music?" Very funny. Also, Brian Eno, massive Adam Curtis.
You're a Curtis head.
I'm a big Curtis head. That's
When did you first hear Brian Eno? When was your first?
via the Power of Nightmares.
Oh, really?
Which was released 2002 or 2003, I think. So it was pretty young. And
Oh, yeah, you were a Curtis head when he was dropping that.
hell yeah,
You're a long time Curtis head.
old school, big part of the game. In fact, I know the first time I watched Power Nightmares, I think it was actually because Charlie Brooker referenced it in one of his early Screen Wipe episodes before he moved to BBC Two. He used to do something on BBC Four. I was watching BBC Four when I was 15. I was a cool kid, and he referenced
See how you get 6 music dad hits. You should have
Radio 4
4 teenage.
Radio 4 Teenager.
One on free paper teenage.
It wasn't Radio 4.
Yeah,
It was Channel 4.
Channel 4.
What was it?
BBC 4.
BBC 4.
BBC 4.
BBC 4. Virgin Liam. So I used to watch that.
Charlie Brooker put me on his TV show. But to fully understand, you have to go back to Dagenham in 1989. An Irishman. Damn it.
Yes. So that's when I got into Adam Curtis, and that's when I first said Brian Eno. So Brian Eno, big back catalogue in my head. Fred Again is new to me. Album is a collaboration between the two. How do they know each other? That's interesting. You should ask. What?
Secret pie show. You do a fat and it feels like not show. Got no money. You got that real secret pie show.
It's a good one.
This Jesus Christ, this guy's one of the most posh freaks you've ever seen in your life.
Fred Gibson, aka Fred Again, parentheses. Was it 3 dots? Is that parentheses?
Is it 3?
Yes.
It's an ellipsis.
Ellipsis. That's what.
Parenthesis is 2 big French fries.
Right.
At either end of your sentence.
Okay.
An ellipsis implies that you're not finished.
Yes. Fred Again's never finished. That's the...
Other people texting will put an ellipsis in, not realising that they are using punctuation to make the sentence feel kind of dread-inducing.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'll see you on Tuesday, ...
You know, what's happening on Tuesday?
Like, are you going to kill me?
My mum, for a while when I was younger, didn't know how to turn caps lock off on her phone. This is like old touchy phones before you had touchscreen. And so every text...
Before
What time are you coming home?
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa.
Are you going to kill me?
Screaming at me, please.
Fred Gibson is the son of King's Counsel barrister Charles Anthony Warnford Gibson and Mary-Anne Frances Morgan, members of British peerage or titled nobility. He is the great-grandson of aristocrat and financier Shane O'Neill, 3rd Baron O'Neill, from whom he is a descendant of the Earl of Dundonald. I can't say this. Earl of Dundonald. Why was that struggling me so much? And British socialite Anne Fleming, who later went on to marry James Bond creator Ian Fleming. Gibson attended the private boarding school Marlborough College. Alumni include Jack Whitehall, Dick King-Smith, Nick Drake, Christopher Burr, and the man who founded Yo Sushi, who turns out
what?
Not Japanese.
Yeah?
Simon Woodroff.
That's so fucked. Woodruff, man. That's cultural appropriation.
That's yes. So he...
Have you heard my really good joke about the Yo Sushi Hotel?
Go on.
Yeah, wait. I was looking over the Sushi Hotel and I was like, what the fuck's going on in there, man? Beds on a conveyor belt. And it would always get a good laugh when I would do an impression of trying to jump on a conveyor belt.
That's good stuff.
I'm actually one of the best comedians.
So, they were literally neighbours and they were like family friends with Brian Eno.
Can we just talk about how fucking rich this cunt is and how he's literally blood relation to James Bond?
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Well, he married into James Bond's family.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
The Earl of Dundonald.
That was so posh that my mouth wouldn't allow me to say it. King's Counsel barrister. So I think that's a lawyer for the king, right? The king's lawyers.
Yeah. The shit shit.
He's a busy guy. The king's lawyers trying to fucking squash pedo allegations for the rest of the family time after time. Time after time. Time after time. That's what that song's about.
Yeah. It's about all the pedo allegations in the
Dick King-Smith as well. Dick King-Smith went to that school.
Dick King-Smith?
Yeah.
Who is that? Do you know who?
Yeah, he wrote Babe, Pig in the City. Did I? No, he wrote the books, Babe. Dick King-Smith.
Dick King-Smith?
He wrote loads of books. Yes, Dick King-Smith.
Dick King-Smith and W.H. Smith are related. Willie Hammer-Smith and Dick King-Smith.
So yeah, he's a
who up here, Dick.
When we who up Dickie J. Smith. So this is one of those.
This is one of the poshest cunts ever been
that we've ever that
we've covered.
Under
this guy is a baron.
Yeah,
he's technically a baron.
This is one of the big guns. This is posher than even your dad is an accountant at Raytheon.
This makes James Murphy with these guys doesn't look like a dang pauper.
Yeah.
Not a pauper as in. Please, sir, may I have some more?
Either way, your asshole's relaxed.
Either way, why would your asshole relax if you ask him for more porridge?
Because the consistency of your bowels.
Yeah, because you're
slop. Yeah, you're eating slop. So this is big rich guy. That's how he came to be friends with Brian Eno at the age of 14. And
just can't
joined his a cappella group. But here's what I'll say. Right?
Say something.
and this will become apparent over
Say something.
the course of the episode, different artists, is that, there are industry plants, and there are people who have a lot of money, so they bit of talent, but they can throw. They're like an industry plant. Classically, will be someone who's basically bang average, but due to finances and connections, can do better than a meritocracy would truly provide. I will say for Fred again, it does feel like, and we'll go through this throughout the episode, that he does have all those things, but also has a really ludicrous amount of talent as well.
I don't know. What I will say is there's a kind of thing just now in America where some actors are being asked if they're Nepo babies, if they are secret pot shows. And they are. I mean, it's like, oh, your dad's him. Okay. Like Ethan Hawke or something, And he was saying, well, the thing is, all they can do is get your foot in the door, and then you have to prove it yourself. And it's like getting your foot in the door is the hard part.
Yeah, but and also, it's easier.
This guy was born with his head in his mum's fanny and his foot in the door.
Yeah.
Like it was from fanny to door straight away.
His mum's fanny is a door.
He was birthed out the canal and into the fucking door, man.
Yeah.
The guy grew up inside the doorway.
But I will say that not all of, who are the other members of Brian Eno's child a cappella group?
You don't know?
Well, yeah.
You just don't know.
So there is an element of...
Probably not Barons.
I would... Yeah, maybe not, but I would say that, as we watched some of the same videos over the last week.
Listen, he's very talented.
Yeah.
This record, we'll get to that. He is a very talented man. When I watched that 8-hour Ed Sheeran documentary, I was like, this guy's good. And Ed's like, I just think he's really cool. And he's right.
Yep.
He's right when he says that.
It's a direct quote, I think, from Ed Sheeran.
He's like a gene.
But so Brian Eno took him under his wing. He's basically Brian Eno's protege.
Yes, which is so upset when you're Brian Eno. I remember first time I heard of Brian Eno was getting into Talking Heads when I was a teenager, and everybody like this guy. And then MGMT had a song called Brian Eno about the kind of myth of Brian Eno on the second album. I love that shit, man. The second, it's like the whole song's about Brian Eno. It's just, it really mythologized him.
Yeah.
Mythologized?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he invented ambient music. He's an incredible, but he's also, and the way that you hear Fred again talk about the tutelage and their relationship, he's like an academic of music, right?
Well, he's like Roxy Music to inventing ambient, bringing African music into the Talking Heads, U2, Coldplay, fucking everybody.
Yeah. But also away from the producing side, just like literally just views music in a very interesting way.
The British Rick Rubin, you might call.
A Svengali. Yes. So obviously being in this cunt's a cappella group.
Living next door to the prick. Who were your neighbours growing up?
My neighbour was a man called Martin, who worked at the Ford's factory and would let us play his PlayStation before we had one. And my other neighbour was a woman with I've ironically forgotten what it's called, the aging disease where you can't remember stuff. Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I wasn't forgetting that as a joke, by the way. I should remember the words.
Sounds like. And it's actually a disease that's affected me very personally, so please.
No disrespect to the Alzheimer's community.
No, they won't remember that you've said that, but...
We got so far now making that joke. Anyway, so I wasn't in either of their a cappella groups.
No. My next door neighbour, taekwondo expert.
And did you ever get like cheap taekwondo?
I'm not going to put him on blast because he was an absolute gem of a man. But he never once taught me anything about taekwondo.
Or a cappella.
Anything.
Yeah.
Or production techniques.
Yeah.
For electronic music. Even though that's not really his wheelhouse. Other side, before the new people came in, they used to shit. They used to pick up shit. They used to pick up the dog's shit in little plastic bags and then just throw them over the fence in our garden. As if we wouldn't know where they're coming from.
That's cool.
That's not cool.
That's so baller.
It's pretty baller. They were weird.
Just like...
Maybe I did that to them. I can't remember what direction. Either way, something weird was going on with that
There's
fence.
Jobby's flinging over the fence in some direction. Who's to say which way?
I'm not going to say it was me. I'm not going to say it wasn't me. I'm just going to say it happened. Let's move past that, you know?
And so Fred again's been writing music for a long time before he started releasing music. He wrote the song Shotgun by George Ezra.
I'll be riding shotgun underneath the warm sun, feeling like a someone.
What a boring...
Did you ever see the version of my last show where I had the joke about George Ezra?
I think so.
Yeah, my neighbour across the road. This is like a slight exaggeration, but in the routine I was saying the neighbour across the road during lockdown.
Yes.
It's a 3-song playlist.
Yes.
So it was George Ezra, Shotgun song, and I would do that.
I'll be riding shotgun.
And then you had that other George Ezra song. It was like,
What you waiting for? What you waiting for?
and then the third song was a remix of the Shotgun song.
Yeah. It was, that's enough.
Tell you what, I was putting a shotgun in my mouth by the end of that.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm saying,
Yeah. I got on the shotgun.
shotgun compilation. 100%.
Gunpilation. No, so he's obvious. I mean, look, Brian Eno can only take you so far, right?
What? No.
I mean,
You can take anybody anywhere. That's Brian Eno.
do you think so?
Yeah.
Do you think if you were Brian Eno's neighbour, you would be a world famous record producer?
He's world famous for something.
Yeah.
Most dead Baron by his own hand. Since fucking Baron Munchausen.
So I had heard a bit of this album, but I hadn't really listened to Fred Again. So I just went over to Spotify and YouTube and just put in Fred Again to listen to some of his bigger hits. And man, it blew me away.
Yeah. This is your cup of tea, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
You like electronic music.
I do like electronic music, but EDM, you know, I don't really listen to anymore because I don't like. I don't go
drugs thing.
I don't go dancing.
No.
I don't go to clubs, you know, and I wouldn't really go and see a live DJ now.
See that thing you just said? I think that'd be a perfect Fred Again sample.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing.
I'll go dancing.
This is the thing that drew me in. When those samples that he uses, very reminiscent of Burial,
Yeah.
who I love.
Burial for Babies.
You think this is Burial for Babies? I mean, I think that's a really harsh way of putting it. It's a sort of mainstreaming of some of the best parts of Burial, Fortet, and
Your James Blake's, etc.
your James Blake's, and
XX.
I mean, it's a short hop, skip, and a jump from XX over to this stuff.
Disclosure.
For sure. Disclosure's a bit more of a jump, I think, although maybe the more dancey elements. But so I don't really often listen to dance music. There's a general snobbishness around dance music because it is very... And there's a lot of bad dance music. It's kind of like...
There's a lot of bad in it.
It's
But yeah,
it's like improv. Like when you see improv done well, you're like, right, this is it.
This is magic.
This is magic, and this is what people are trying to do. But when you see guys on the Raw Mile
Yeah.
handing out flyers for, you know, we're doing an improvised...
What did an improvised version?
we're doing an improvised version of Facebook, the musical. Give me a status. Show out a status update. Do you know what I mean? You're like, shut the fuck up. You know? Those guys,
Yeah.
hate them. So, I think...
But then you watch like a UCB troupe who've been together and shared bodies.
Well, like when you see like long form improv or something different, you're like, oh, bro,
this is magic.
this is what people love and want to do. They're just doing it badly. They're just doing theatre sports or whatever. So that's kind of how I felt listening to this. It was like a reminder of really good, not this, but Fred Again's other
stuff.
of really good, well-made, powerful house tracks that eagerly flood busy dance floors with raw tender feeling. That's just something I just came up with.
Yeah. I was actually just saying that in the pub yesterday.
I was in the pub last night and I was saying it.
I was at the Springcroft Tavern and I was just sitting there. I love it when I love it when they do that.
So it did sort of, I mean, you know, EDM always takes me back to like festival days and you know, drugs and, you know, Sneaky Pete's and Bongo Club for sure.
I remember when Glastonbury was showing the Fred Again set, which if you listen to the Zane Lowe interview, on my Frid again. Applied it again. It's why I call you that, mate.
Ellipses. Frid again, ellipses.
Or remember the first time I saw your ellipses.
I played Frid again. I played Frid again.
I've done it twice.
I played Frid again, ellipses again. Ellipses.
Coil with the song Coil of Fangy from Secret Life.
I thought I played it twice, but actually there was the same song. There was just a drop halfway through.
Yes.
It just never stopped.
The thing about you is you're just the greatest artist there's ever been.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? Then this is the journey I went on this week. This album, listened to, okay, we'll come to that in a sec. Went for a deep dive on Fred again, listened to a load of his tracks.
Fell in love.
And was like, look, a lot of this really slaps. And a lot of it is stuff with people who I have snobbishness about, Swedish House Mafia, for example, or Skrillex.
Mm-hmm.
People who I'm like, yuck. But then listen to and so some of those duets and was like, okay, this is good. Then I watched the interview with Zane Lowe and I heard him talk.
Hey.
I mean,
Well, like, I really like to just go to, like, I've got plum juice on my chin. I like to go to the Tate Modern and, like, I just open up my laptop and that's where I like to just make music because people are just, like, buzzing around. I've just got Fruity Loops open. I used to go to Brian Eno's house and play Twister. I used to get shagged up the arse by Brian Eno when I was a little boy.
we're not suggesting that Brian Eno is Brian.
No. We're not saying Brian Eno is Brian Peter. We're not saying that.
We're not saying that.
I used to get bombed by Brian Eno. Bake banana bread with Brian Eno. I used to bake banana bread and Brian Eno's bum. Like, just like see his bum shot and like cook it.
And it was that thing of going, God, I've now gone off you again.
Yes.
You know?
Because he's so plummy.
I just sit on the tube. I just like to sit in like just public spaces, people's energy, and just people's energy, just some music. When I'm in LA, it's like not on town for like public transport, so I'm just like in my car, so I'm not like feeling it. But when I go back to London,
but then I watched his Boiler Room.
Oh my God. Yeah, just what I hate. That's
not only spoken about Boiler Rooms before in the pod, which is surprising, but I'm sure
we have some people who aren't into stuff like that.
Yeah, so Boiler Room, series on YouTube, they invite different DJs, into basically a hot box, and they just record a set. So
they get the best, I guess, DJs in the world, people who would play, he can play, he just played Dally Pally, doesn't he?
Coachella, he's headlined as well.
Connect Festival.
Glastonbury.
Done 2 sets at Glastonbury.
And so they get them in a small nightclub space. There is zero fencing, right? The dancing crowd are at the decks.
Yeah.
And it's sweaty.
Raytheon Jr., aka James Murphy, his Boiler Room was one of the first Boiler Rooms I seen because I was really into LCD sound system.
If you've ever really been into sort of like live clubbing, then you watch it and you go, oh, that looks hot and sweaty and sticky and sexy.
Yeah.
You know?
People are just like...
As someone who's 34, I'm now looking at it going, I would probably last about 20 seconds in there.
These would be killing me.
Too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there seats?
It's interesting watching it. First off, right, the set he does is amazing. And yeah, this is incredible to watch someone.
It's so good.
Like really firing at the hit rate that he's doing.
He's got his wee NPC machine and he's like live.
Yeah. It's funny though, like the people are so close and you can tell that like people are sort of angling to get in a position where they know they're going to be in a video and they're sort of influencing like the crowd to maneuver their way to the front so that they can be, oh, that's me. And then there's this great bit, which I sent you, where there's this like little Asian guy wearing like a bright top and he's like dancing, like everyone's trying to be so cool and he's just like, yeah, and he's throwing his arms in the air and then his elbow bangs the stop button on the decks and all of the music comes down and everyone goes, oh. And then Fred again looks at him and is like, oh my God, what is he? Presses play, everyone goes, woo, and it hugs the guy and you're like, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was like something from...
I got a wee quote from him about that.
Oh, really?
His name was Rodney, and he was...
Oh, of course it was. Rodney, you plonker.
No, boy! You fucking bumped his machine!
In the wall.
That's the fucking corner.
Granddad's in the corner of the
Boiler. Jesus. Oh boy, a boiler. When he falls through the bar and the drop.
That's why the chandelier dropped, because Boiler Room was in the room upstairs. The room was jumping around.
That was why. His name was
Rodney, and he was beautifully present as well. And so many people were like, why were you pissed off with Rodney? It's like, he's so not the enemy. He's this joyful guy who's everything you want your people to be in a club, and he's giving it everything. He's there with you. He's following you through every moment. So if his arm, or belly as it was, happens to touch the pause button, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's a blessing. Like, one sound cut or two is a blessing.
Yeah.
He's right, but he did say it like that.
That's it. He's saying such a good thing, but in the most annoying way possible.
Well, it's like going to Thailand and having a full moon party. I mean, that is such a cool thing to do, but it's just people have done it so much and so often with such regularity, and I hate those people.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what, you know.
As someone who's been to Thailand and taken mushrooms on a beach.
Well, I'm sure it's great. It's great.
It was great, but
Look at your eyes. It's such, you know, you're just such a
joyful memories.
Yeah, the full moon's shining in them, brother.
Mm-hmm.
But you're a wank.
Yeah. I've come to terms with that.
Yeah, me too.
There's so the Boiler Room I highly recommend we watch, but also the Tiny Desk concert. Watching them back to back, that's when I was like, that's why I was like, no, this guy is a unique talent who just happened, by the grace of God, who I do believe in, to be born next to Brian Eno. And, you know, it's like amazing.
Think about all the people who would also smash a Boiler Room and Tiny Desks and Glastonbury and everything he's done, but they can't do it because they weren't born right, and the afterbuff still on their fucking forehead.
I'm not suggesting that he would have made it without Brian Eno, but I'm saying that there is a difference between the industry plants who are bang average with connections and people who do have talent and also happen to have the connections, and he just happens to be the latter. So the Tiny Desk, and we've spoken about this.
Good.
Not
as good. He said it was good as Usher.
Usher's. Watch this. But his Tiny Desk, where he does some live looping and he plays the xylophones.
He's got like 6 xylophone sticks in either hand, and he's just like,
and he's playing the piano, and
I found you beautiful.
He's got a horizontal monitor that's showing the videos of all of the samples that he's got. It's really, I was transfixed by it. I went to put it on just for a couple minutes research and ended up just sitting and staring and watching the whole thing.
It's great.
And I highly recommend it. Again, if you don't know Fred again, which I think probably a lot of people who listen to us may not have dug into it, it's a good starting point to be like, right, I get what the fuss is about.
He's a wank, though.
He is a wank. And that's it. I mean, listen, we've spoken before about embracing the cringe. This guy
is
a hundo pedo cringe.
Hundo pedo?
You don't remember from the live show? 100 pedo%? It's a callback to the live show. 100 pedo% is my new unit of measurement. It's 100 pedo%. He's 100 pedo% a cringe.
Brian 100% pedo. What? Anyway, do you think maybe he's Brian Eno's son? You think Brian Eno shags about in his neighbourhood, and this is kind of like that? Do you know that Boris Johnson peerage thing where these weird young women are getting like lifelong peerages, but they're like, okay, are you shagging her, or did you shag someone who gave birth to her?
Do you think his musical ability is genetic then? Or, you know, mixture of both?
Maybe. In the Scooby-Doo film, they realise, Scrappy-Doo and Scooby-Doo.
So you think Fred again at the end of his Boiler Room set rips off his mask and they go, it was Brian Eno's sperm.
Scrappy-Doo the whole time.
Some of the comments
makes me Brian Emo, you know, about this.
Some of the he has, because of his, you know, musical production abilities, there's a lot of big music heads who really love him.
Yeah.
And these make for some of the freakiest, dinkiest people on the internet. I'm going to read, this is my YouTube comment.
But you know what, for Fred?
This is Fred.
Right.
But there's like new, like, because there has been a bit of a gap in terms of, especially British big EDM producers who are managed to be both, fun to dance to at a festival, but also have musical credentials. Do you know what I mean? There is that snobbishness about dance music, and who is...
I genuinely think it's a class thing. Of his class raises the prestige. I think there's loads of producers that people would go, nah, that's stupid music. And he's like, no, I'm sampling like my friend telling me about her birthday.
Yeah.
You know?
I do think it's good though.
It's good, but it's like...
Anyway.
It's not gay enough or like dark enough. There's no kind of like dark emotions. It's all like, I found you beautiful. So like, you will one day be the person who smiles at me. You know, there's no like, there's no darkness in it. There's just sunshine, shade, but it's like his poshness gives it a level of like prestige.
Well, maybe.
It's like comedy. It's like all the prestige comedians. It's because they're loaded.
Yeah.
That's why people like them, because they're loaded.
Yeah. But I like Fred again, and I'm not loaded.
No, but you like prestige stuff.
Anyway,
we will get to that.
Helena Amos 889 3 months ago wrote on, this is the I think this was on Delilah, his song, and it says, music to elevate higher the earth vibes, a diffusion that has a mission, stellar seeds incarnate at the planet do. A divine
the planet do?
At the planets do.
Scooby Doo's from there.
A divine law, if you don't know. And Robert Lonergan replied, is there any possibility you could give me some of what you were on? This is great music, but you need to take it easy. Just for a while, eh?
Well, it's unhinged YouTube comment. It's not a hinged YouTube comment.
Robert. Yeah, thank you very much.
I got a fucking insane comment on the...
Insane comment posse.
Insane comment posse. That's us?
Yeah.
Pass me the Fago. So Brian Eno also done a Zane Lowe interview.
Yes, I saw some of this.
And it was... I mean, it's just interesting to see his level of calm on someone who like deserves it, who's not like fucking, Harry Styles, Malibu. So it's like, oh my god, he's sitting there, Harry,
Brian, the thing you did back in the 60s before I was born, it was so good. I was in the womb and I listened to it twice.
I think what your new record does is it allows people to access their own emotions, but in a completely shame-free environment.
That is the kind of stuff he says, isn't it? It's crazy.
It's absolutely wild.
It's like Brewdog coded management speak about art. Do you know what I mean?
Ayahuasca Brewdog.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's a really good...
Oh, shit, Tim. I dented the rim of the mid-biscuit.
What was that thing you said about Picasso there? Because when I think of Picasso, I think about the noise you made for Windows 98 when it turned... And by the way, can I just say, Brian Eno, who invented ambient music when he was in hospital, and he was like, we should have gentler kind of music that isn't to be listened to actively. We should have passive, nice music.
Yes.
And he's all about sound quality. And then he's doing a Zoom call for this radio thing, and he's clearly not turned on any of the fucking features.
To be fair, I think that was during the pandemic that this was taken, though. So I think that's why it's a Zoom call.
He shit.
No.
Oh, I don't think it is. I think it's more recent than that, but he might be right. Either way, though, he should know how to fucking... We've fucking stuck Audacity on.
Yeah.
And fucking run it through some filters to make it sound alright. Brian, you know knows how to do that. Who invented fucking...
Why don't they use free software?
What? Right. So this is Jean-Philippe Dupuy 7450. Right?
French YouTube comment. Get this
freak.
I know straight away it's going to be horny. You don't have a name like that without it being 100% horny.
Do you want it in a French voice?
If you feel like that, add to it, but don't feel obliged. Don't feel obliged.
Okay. So Jean-Philippe said, Master. In the comment.
Horny already.
Master. Ellipsis. When GPT and the little family produce music or something like that by interconnecting.
No, I can't understand the French accent. Master. So is he calling?
Start the comment going, Master.
Right, actually.
just one word then unhinged already. Master. What? You? Why are you submitting to someone's will like this? Jean-Philippe. Master. Master. Master.
You said it so many times.
When GPT and the little family produce music or something like that by interconnecting with our limbic brain to make us hear with higher thoughts have decided for us the form, the content, what we are capable of understanding. When we have understood that the world is there, already there, creation as such no longer exists, can we devote our time with tenderness to making good pastries? What? A good diabetologist? Very close. I don't know what the fuck that kind of talking about. I know we've kind of got away from the original old days of Unhinged YouTube comment where it's like a tone poem.
Yeah.
He brought me back to the stage.
No, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The pastries.
When the pastries came up, I was like, okay, you're a sub-dom guy in a dish. Master.
Master pastries, please, master.
Beginning your fucking YouTube comment with master and then get to pastries and diabetologists by the end of it, which I don't even think diabetologists are a thing.
So, can I say this about this album?
So maybe watch your podcast.
So, I love Brian Eno, as is documented.
Yeah.
I like Fred again. I like his music.
Yep.
I would recommend putting on, going onto YouTube, typing in Fred again, listen to the first 4 songs. If you like that, you like it. Turn it up loud. The samples are great.
I was walking the street just doing that last night.
Yeah. Bopping. The use of static on a lot of it. I love. It's really evocative of like old burial stuff, which I love. However,
Hasbro's Burial.
This album, Brian Eno meets Fred again. The least good qualities of both come together to make, and I hate saying this about an ambient album because it is a dumb criticism often levied at ambient music is that it's boring. That's incorrect. You are a dum-dum. However, this album is quite boring. There's a couple
boring.
There's a couple moments of joy on it that my interest is more peaked for, but in general, I'm like, why have you guys come together and done this and not really taken advantage of both of your strengths?
Yeah,
you know,
the fun. Some of Fred against other stuff is big dumb fun.
Yeah,
by a posh freak, but it's like just syrupy. It's like someone just went like that with a cordial bottle. You know when they have that squishy cordial sometimes.
No,
wait, no, I'm talking about when you're in like a bad coffee shop.
Right,
it's like toffee flavored gunk.
Yeah,
his music just
but
into an artisanal coffee, you know.
Yeah,
super syrup and a freakishly artisanal coffee shop.
So, are you saying that you think Fred again has ruined the Brian? So that sounds like you're saying that there's.
I'm saying that's what I like about his other stuff. Right, you're right. It's boring as fuck.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Yeah,
I didn't like it, and I don't like him as a person.
I've picked up on that,
but he's alright as a producer. He's a good producer. He's a good music. He's a good DJ.
Yeah,
this sucks. He sucks. He's a good musician.
The song that I put on here already, Enough, I think is really beautiful. And
how's that go again?
Boom, 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 boom.
Like a kind of.
Don't you really let it go? Don't you even feel it? Go give it up. And it's that. First off, you can already imagine that being used in an Adam Curtis documentary over some footage of like Saddam Hussein playing basketball or something. And some old Russian ladies dancing and falling down wells.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar just wanting a basketball out there, and Saddam's like, "Fuck." I can see it over an advert for like phones or something.
No, it's far too low key for that. It's too that song in particular is so powerful and evocative, like and atmospheric. Putting that in a phone advert would be way too weird, unless it was an Adam Curtis phone. You can only down now to the car phone warehouse. We have brand new deals, but to understand why, we have to go back.
Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone in the 1800s in Scotland, but the first person he found was Saddam Hussein. Saddam Do you want to play basketball with me? We went back to 1700 France to discover where basketball... The Aztecs had their own form of basketball.
That song and the song "Come On," in which Fred again has a little bit more freedom to add some of his. That's a lot more fun and interesting. A lot of the sort of slower, smoother bits is like, it was fine. I didn't hate it, but I just feel like this is neither scratching the Fred again nor the Brian Eno itch. And I'm itchy.
Can I just say something? It reminds me of Metallica and Lou Reed had an album together.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting piece of art. Is it good? No.
I would...
But do I enjoy it? Also no.
I would say that this, though, is not a really enjoyable, interesting piece of art.
It's bad.
It's bland.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the worst things you can say about an artist.
Boring.
Something's better to be really bad, offensively bad, than bland. You know, Insane Clown Posse, I found was
bad,
offensively bad.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it.
But more interesting than
the mythos of the Dark Carnival.
Yeah,
there's no mythos here.
Where's the mythos?
It's two rich men, one of whom's younger than the other one, on a tube to the Tate.
Yeah,
and they're sitting there, and Brian's going, well, what I thought about Fred is, he's actually a really interesting guy. And,
yeah, I just love travelling on the tube and just taking in just like how people live their lives and just transporting that to my music.
Or, mate, do you find that transporting people to your music, that changes your whole creative output? It reminds me a lot of, the spiritual journey of shut the fuck up, everybody!
Can everybody just kill themselves?
Do they have anything interesting marks on their body?
Our two guys, Romeo and tattoos. We're gonna Google image search and we'll choose if it's tattoo or tattoo. We're judging the ink, yeah, that's what we do. Full sleeve or face, that's big skull or we. You pick the design, is it better just fine? A dragon or a pretentious art. And you get out hand, and we will decide if it's tattoo or tattoo. Yeah. Does Fred again have tattoos? No. Does Brian Eno have tattoos? No.
It's been another classic week here on Enjoy an Album.
But we got one. There is a picture on the computer.
Can we get up the picture?
It's a red picture. Kind of like
red again.
It's red again. I found this. This is a fan's Fred Again tattoo.
Right.
Can I just say, if you're a Fred Again person that you've made it this far, listen. I'm sorry for saying all the things I've said about your favourite person. People love this cunt. This cunt inspires worship.
Yeah. That's kind of what I mean. The musos of the world love this guy, and I
wouldn't even say musos. I'd say young, emotional people who are having a hard time. They get off on this guy's emotional little snippets of his friends' conversations that make this EDM thing. It makes it a little bit.
Remember that Onion article that was stupidest person found bad album really useful during a dark time, and this is giving that. So it's a typeface.
It's this song I was saying, Kyle, I Found You from Secret Life 1, which is a fun record. Every song has a name of a person and then a wee description of the person in parentheses, or what was that other thing you were talking about? Ellipses. He's using the ellipses in parentheses, which is great, and it's like a sample of like a spoken word artist, and it's in the Tiny Desk concert as well. It goes,
beautiful.
I found you.
Exploding.
I found you beautiful.
Beautiful. I think it's quite. I love the remixing of spoken word artists and videos of it. I think it sounds amazing. It's cool. And when you actually see it live in that Tiny Desk, it's really cool. Beautiful, exploding. I found you is a.
It's one I want to call him. Even though you can't tell, I think he's ginger.
He's ginger coded.
He's ginger coded for sure. He's got a little pinky ring. This guy, not the worst sly one. It's not pinky ring woohoo, pinky ring boohoo.
I'm giving it woohoo.
Okay, and then on his outer, what would you say, a forearm?
Sure, wrist.
The wrist going into the forearm. There is a tattoo. It says "Beautiful, Exploding, I Found You," which is a reference to that song. What do you think? You see, you're in a coffee shop, and someone's spunking coffee juice into a long black.
Yes. Please never make that noise again. A long black with toffee.
You try to do that? No, the
So I've just gone into a coffee shop. They're playing I found you beautiful. I found you beautiful. Can I get a long black with a shot of toffee syrup, please? And they're going, okay. And mental. They're bringing that to me. And then as he serves it, I see on his heart the words, beautiful exploding, I found you, full stop, are written. I don't hate it.
I think if I saw that on someone's wrist, I would assume it was the thought process of one of the pilots on 9/11.
Final message.
Directed at the towers.
Beautiful, exploding.
I found you.
I found you.
Fucking good aim, brother. Twice? Nobody talks about that. How hard that must have been.
I think it was pretty simple.
What?
They're big buildings.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could do that. I'm getting a boo-hoo. I like it.
Ross, you can laugh. It's quite all right. Don't worry. You can laugh away. It's good if we get the producers laughing. I found you beautiful. Found you beautiful.
For Al Qaeda.
For Al Qaeda.
Anyway, woohoo from... No, boo-hoo from...
It's a woohoo from me.
Really?
I was undecided, but you've swung me over to the woohoo side.
Can we get the album cover back? What'd you on, by the way?
We take a look at the album art and we decide if it is good or fart.
It is Dream Sleeves. What do you think of that? I quite like it. It's an impressionistic photo. Looks like it could be AI generated if your AI generator has had lilt spilled on it.
It's it's a sort of a blurry picture of some young people
in a park
staring at the night sky, perhaps after sharing a nighttime doobie. That's the vibes I'm getting.
Maybe they have taken ecstasy pills.
In a park?
No, they're walking home at like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning.
Okay.
The sun's coming up.
Yeah.
And they're coming down.
I don't think so, because they're dressed for the park.
Right.
They're wearing big coats.
Yeah.
I think they're watching the sun set with a nighttime smoke.
I found you doobie full.
Nice. It's fine. You know, it's fine. It's just the album. I'm not going to remember it.
No, it's not me.
Much like the album.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too. And listen, check. I wish we'd done another Fred Again record, maybe.
Yeah,
you know,
I would have enjoyed that more.
Secret Life 3. I listened to that.
Yeah,
and because it got nominated for the Mercury Prize, and I was like, oh, let's check it out. And it was a wee bit, you know, your fortet,
a lot more vibey.
But it's interesting because I don't think any of those, you know, Disclosure did to an extent, and you think this is a bit more interesting than that. But you know, those fortet led. That generation, I know that's just one guy, but that kind of crew, they never got to festival headliner, did they?
Fortet is definitely for a certain type of festival.
For a certain type of festival, but for a Glastonbury,
yeah,
or a Coachella.
I saw Fortet open for Radiohead in Bilbao in Spain.
That's a cool move on Tom York's part. That little nipple tweaking freak.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
No.
So let's add some songs to the playlist. Which song from this album would you like to add to our playlist, Christopher?
You've already put on enough?
Yes.
No, I'm saying that you've already put on enough.
Yes.
From this record?
Yes.
Yeah, you've already put on enough. So we're not putting it more.
No. I think.
No. I wouldn't veto it because you vetoed 2 or 3 times. Actually, I would never veto. I would never do that.
Yep.
Because I trust the process.
Right.
I'm going to put on... It's shy. Is that so?
Don't put it on then.
No. Come on.
Well, that was what I was going to put on.
Yeah.
We'll just put on one. We'll put on Come On. Because enough is already there. So, that is 2 from the album.
Okay, enough's getting put back on. But the no doubles rule defeats it. We have put it on.
Yeah.
But it's been dissolved.
Yes.
By the process.
Yes. So, Enough and Come On are going on. My extra album is I was going to put on a Fortet song. I think I'm trying to...
Even though you saw them in Bow Bow.
Yeah, I think it's all like 2019, the Fortet song I want to put on. Yes, 2017 even, it's called. I'm going to put that on.
Called 2017?
Yes.
In numbers or letters?
In words. 2017.
That's a bit like when Paul McCartney done 1985 in letters.
Maybe it's a reference to that.
Bet it is, that little freak. I'm still Paul-pilled. Paul-pilled and Bow Bow. I'm going to stick on Brian Eno by MGMT.
Oh, nice. Good. Yes. All proper and above board.
That bit there, a bunch of posh freaks.
So did you enjoy an album?
I enjoyed man.
Different thing, different podcast. The Enjoy a Man podcast. Different vibes on that pod. We should be hosting the Enjoy a Man podcast.
I enjoyed Boiler Room.
Yes.
I enjoyed Tiny Desk concert. I enjoyed...
No shade to Fred, in particular, above him being a big mad posh freak. But
he's allowed his privilege to seep into his own work.
This is probably the worst thing.
Probably the worst thing anybody's ever done. No, it's
include 9/11 in.
Yeah, I would definitely include that. That was class. And it was actually really difficult to pull off as well. But I'll say this. I'm not slagging off. Am I saying that Brian Eno is his real father?
Maybe. You heard it first.
He is his real dad, and this is him getting back.
Yep.
The bonding.
Mm-hmm. But we didn't need to hear it.
Brian Eno fathered this boy.
If you want to listen to ambient music, go listen to some other Brian Eno. If you want to listen to dance music, go listen to some other Fred again. Never the twain shall meet.
You know, I just think there's a kind of disgusting thing of a posh English guy. It's like the Jungle guys as well. He has a song called Jungle, and then there was those two guys called Jungle who were like privately educated.
They've got new else
like,
it.
We need to do them. Because they're posh freaks, and they're like,
can you please stop bringing up the fact that we were privately educated, because it's actually nothing to do with it.
And it's like, but you've stole the name of a genre that is by black people, and jungle is a very fucking racially complicated word.
They also very problematically were not in their own music videos for a long time and exclusively had like black people like dancing in their music. I didn't realize they were white guys. Now that's definitely a decision by them. So they are problematic AF, I'm gonna say. But anyway, I don't think he's that bad. He's pretty open about his poshness, old Freddie.
Yeah.
It's not a secret.
No.
You know?
But... And it makes me sad when I go on YouTube, people go, yes, so he's a baron, who cares? The music's great. And it's like, but you not realise you only know about him because he's a baron? That's what I think. I think, did I enjoy an album? No. Neither did you.
Neither did I. But it's been a good episode.
But we did enjoy other albums by this person, but that's not how this podcast works.
It's not how this podcast works, so stop trying to change the fucking rules.
Stop trying to change the rules.
Thank you so much for listening to the Enjoy an Album podcast. We've enjoyed doing it this week for sure, and every week for the rest of our lives. If you enjoyed the episode, give it a like and subscribe. I don't say that enough, but it helps if you do subscribe to the YouTube.
Or
follow on the Spotify.
Follow on Spotify. Leave a review on the Spotify. Leave a review on Apple Music. I don't know.
I don't know either. Just
thank you so much to everybody who's been sharing it, sharing the clips and liking the clips. And honestly, you can game the algorithm if you just comment underneath with like a fire emoji or something. That's good, supposedly. Or just, I don't know, just listen to this and do what you want.
A Patreon, someone literally just signed up to the Patreon in the last 10 seconds, and then it's Claire. So shout out to you, Claire.
Shout out to Claire. What's her second name?
I'm not going to say that.
All right.
So, listen, enjoy your week. Have a wonderful time. Thank you for listening and streaming. And we love you lots. See you next time. Bye.
See you next time. Peace and love, and the Millennium.
Bye.